Live. Go.
Good morning and welcome to the last Wednesday of 2023 on the Daily Huddle. I am so excited about today. And in light of my excitement about our guest, rather than a joke, I have a quote that honors how inspiring this gentleman is. And here is the quote from Robert Hensel. There is no greater disability in society than the inability to see a person as more. If you'll roll that tape, please, Sorrel. Sorrel's out of practice. Our host is on vacation. Sorrel, you're rusty.
There we go.
Oh, good morning, Daily Huddlers. I don't have any volume from this tape either, so something's not firing on all cylinders this morning. But I am, so that's okay. I am all here. Oh, yeah. Good morning again to the Daily Huddle. Welcome to the last Wednesday on the Daily Huddle. Wednesdays are the days that my co-host and she's not here either today, we talk about relationships and communication. Why are we so passionate about relationships and communication? Because we know that more effective communication builds better relationships, and better relationships builds better families, better communities, and better business. And today we are going to dive in with a wonderful, inspiring guest who sees how his gifts affect his relationships. Before I do that, though, I have a few questions for our guests who showed up during the holidays. I thank you so much. Rashida, are you with me this morning? I have a question for you, and you are going to love our guest. Look at your smile. She just lights up the world. Rashida, I must ask you, how are you, and what are you grateful for?
I am blessed. I am blessed and not stressed, highly favored and loved by the universe. And what I'm grateful for?
Yes.
I'm grateful for life itself. I'm grateful for the blessing that the universe has granted me this morning. I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I am so grateful for that. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. So I see Virtue on here, and I'd love for you to tell us, if you can come off mute, who will you hug today?
Yeah, well, I'm going to hug my mother, visiting her in Florida today.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. You are blessed that your mother is still with you. I miss my mom every day, and especially around the holidays.
Yes, I have to come and see her.
Love to hear that. So I have one more question, and I'm going to throw it to you, Sorrel, and I want to know, what are you grateful for, and what time is it?
I'm going to start with the time is now. And I'm grateful for our collective ability to be present right here, right now. But you know what else I'm grateful for?
Tell me.
Santa Claus.
Isn't that great? So I maybe should have asked you what Santa Claus brought you, but I might ask that when this is over. So actually right now I'm going to shift into introducing a guest that I have known for several years, and from the moment I met him, he warmed my heart. Please meet Rey Grandoit, who was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts by his parents, who are immigrants of Haiti. Despite overcoming life-altering challenges from a young age, Rey graduated from Oklahoma State University with a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship. Rey is an author, an entrepreneur, a mentor, and advocate for people with disabilities. He has won countless awards for impacting individuals through mentoring, outreach, community work, and being grand. Rey was awarded the Hero Among Us Award from the Boston Celtics, which honors individuals who have made an overwhelming impact on the lives of others and overcome adversity. What does Rey love? Rey loves to see people succeed by embracing their gifts and leaving a legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Rey Grandoit. Great to have you today. Thank you so much for being here. You probably noticed that I cut some out of your bio.
No, that was phenomenal. I'm like, oh, I'm like, man, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate the
Well,
warm welcomes.
I cut part of it out because I didn't want to have a spoiler alert in your bio. And I would love
Yeah.
for you, before we talk about the amazing work and the example that you're setting today, what I would love for you to share is a little bit of the history, particularly around what happened to you when you were only 14 years old.
Yeah, so when I was 14 years old, I contracted bacterial spinal meningitis, which is an infectious disease. If those who don't know, it's almost like a COVID, swine flu, Ebola. And there's different types of these infectious disease. The one that I contracted could have left me dead because it's so potent. However, I was in a coma for about a week. But by the grace of God, I was able to just come out just paralyzed. The doctor said I could have been mentally impaired, blind, deaf. I could have lost limbs, you name it. Like it was not looking pretty in that
Just paralyzed.
hospital.
I love how you say that. So you
Just
are a paraplegic. Would that be correct?
paraplegic, yeah,
Okay.
from the
All right.
waist down.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a blessing in disguise because I strongly believe that that situation helped build my character for who I am today versus where the direction I was going.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. So take us from uh have shared with me before that since that happened to you, I mean, you were an avid athlete, basketball player
Hmm.
at a young age. Tell us a little bit about the emotions you faced and how you responded to those emotions for many years.
Yeah, that's a great question because it took a long time. So the range of emotions were bitterness, anger, hurt, desperation, um, you name it. However, at that age, I didn't really understand those emotions, and I didn't even know I had those emotions. They were suppressed.
Hmm.
And so me playing basketball when I was walking, I was fairly okay athlete. When I got in a wheelchair, I developed and I got a wheelchair basketball scholarship to go to school in Oklahoma State. So it's a blessing. I'm able to go to school for free and play basketball. But the reality of the situation was now my support system is not there. This is me by myself. And so a quick story is I was doing my laundry. I had the laundry on my lap and I'm going to push to the laundry mat, to get my
Hmm.
laundry done. And my laundry fell on the floor. And in that moment, I realized I was paralyzed. And this is 10 years after paralysis. The reason why I realized I was paralyzed because I had help and support with my mom, everybody helping me. So there's certain things I just didn't feel. And then when I dropped all those clothes, then I had to pick it up by myself. It was like, wow, you're in a wheelchair. But before, when I was like rolling around, I was still walking.
Hmm.
I was in complete denial.
It's kind of like
But
in my head, I'm still about 24.
yeah, yes, exactly. Complete denial. I'm like, I'm walking, I'm going to walk. Like, I just did not want to accept that you're in a wheelchair and you have to deal with these realities. And so that moment just opened up my eyes to, and I started to, I went to therapy. I started therapy in college, went to see a therapist, um, and started to unpack the beginning of unpacking all of this stuff of paralysis and just the adjustment of living this new life in a wheelchair.
Wow. So, and this interview slash conversation could we could make it an hour and a half easily. And I know that people would be
Yeah.
wrapped. But in light of the short time that we have here together, I do want to take a giant leap forward because I
Okay.
think that the story that's going to really resonate with our community today is how you were dealing with your challenges pretty well, but still not totally facing your emotions. And then tell us this is where I want you to take your time and tell us what happened during COVID.
Oh yeah, so COVID was a mirror to the reality of facing my mountains, facing myself. So during COVID, I was depressed. I was like in bed, lazy, you name it. Was not motivated. Um, just all the barriers. I like to call them the 5 M's. The barriers facing myself, facing motivation, my memories, my mistakes, and my world of this spinal cord injury world,
Okay,
wheelchair world.
whoa, say
Oh, I'm
that
going too
again.
fast? Huh?
No. I just want to repeat it because that's how the brain works. You know me, the brain lady.
Repeat it, repeat it.
Give us the 5 M's.
The 5 M's, facing myself, my motivation, my memories, my mistakes, and my world, which is the spinal cord injury world of being in a wheelchair. So
Okay.
COVID positioned me to face those things, which were barriers.
Mhm.
And it really got me to a place where it was like, man, Ray, you are motivating so many people, preaching this message of taking ownership and doing this and doing that. And it was very challenging for me to face being the message that I bring. I was in the moments like it was a test. It was like, do you believe what you preach?
Mhm.
At that moment of reality.
Right. So let me interject here because I probably didn't do a great job of making this clear. You were and are a motivational speaker, and
Correct.
you were kind of on the sidelines of living your message, but you were doing a pretty good job of it. Then
Absolutely.
COVID hits, and then all of a sudden, I think the words you said to me is, am I going to be a fraud or am I going to live my message? Right.
Exactly. Exactly. So I was in a position, was like, am I going to be a fraud or I'm going to live out this message that I consistently bring to the world? And it was a very honest, transparent moment because I think if we're honest with ourselves and if I'm honest with myself, it's almost normal to have those moments because those moments are pivotal to get to that next level of the mountain. Because if we don't have those moments, we're just rushing and fighting through life as if we are just this Superman and we're just we cannot be harmed or hurt. And I don't think that's realistic.
Mhm.
And so um for me, it was very difficult to to come those moments. However, I did because I know for me, like I have to. It's not. It's bigger than me. It's like it's so much bigger than me. I have to overcome because I came this long way. It's not. I'm not going to give up now because of all I've came such a long way. But that doesn't mean I didn't feel like giving up. I definitely felt like giving up.
All right. So, one thing that you also said to me is you said that those emotions that you were facing, and there were so many of them, and every one of them that you listed, I just thought was so vulnerable. You mentioned anger,
Yes.
jealousy, rage,
Yes. Oh yes.
sadness, um,
Yes.
and then you said you used those for strength. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I read this book called "Feelings Buried Alive," and the book in short is about we all have these range of feelings. Some people, well, like myself, like I told you earlier, suppress those feelings. And when someone suppress those feelings, they're still there. So imagine if someone suppresses anger or rage or anything, eventually those feelings will come up. And what do those feelings become? Dis-ease. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've learned to um unpack those feelings. So like anger, what is beneath anger? Hurt. Why am I hurt? Because I used to walk and I can't walk. I used to play basketball. I'm not playing basketball. I had friends and they're gone. All of them are like they're gone. They left. I
I've
don't
heard
have
that
any,
before.
yeah, have any
Mhm.
friends. So who wouldn't be hurt? Who wouldn't be sad? So in understanding, say, okay, anger, what is your motivation here? And so when I get angry, I say, what is your motivation? What are you trying to do? And I realized anger wanted to protect me. So anytime I was getting angry, anger wanted to protect me. I said, oh, that's what you want to do, anger. Well, anger, I don't need your protection anymore. I'm an adult. I can express my feelings and express, you know what, that hurt my feelings. And that's okay.
That's so strong to hear you, a tough, badass champion man, say something like that. It is exhilarating. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so, and I think that bad, strong Iron Man was a scared little boy.
Wow.
In reality, that little boy needed healing. That little boy needed a hug. That little boy needed love. That little boy needed attention. That little boy needed to be heard. That little boy needed to be seen. And once, who needed to see that little boy? Me. I needed to be the person to listen to me. I needed to be the person to understand me and not looking for that validation, because it's easy. Like, you know, the title is motivational speaker. I mean, I use that title because, you know, just for
It's
protocol,
relatable.
the
People know what
label.
it means.
Yeah, you know what it means. You know, it really, it's what we really, it is, it's inspirational speaker, but even then it's still a title. But what is it in essence? It's in essence who I am. I'm me.
Mhm.
I am who I am, good, bad, and indifferent. And so those feelings, and then the exercise, and that's when I started to exercise as well to get that dopamine, because we're all looking for dopamine one way or another. So I started to exercise, rock climbing, cycling, going to the gym.
You were just like, whoa, rock climbing. Tell us about that.
Oh,
I mean,
ooh.
first of all, I've tried it. I have pretty strong legs, strong shoulders, strong arms, and I suck. So do tell.
Ooh, rock climbing, it literally puts you in it mirrors you. So you're looking at a mirror and it mirrors you. And when I first did it, fear came. Fear, my breathing. That's a perfect picture to describe when I first was rock climbing. Literally, like, I don't know if I'm able to go up. Oh my goodness, I'm about to fall. Even though I have a belayer that has me think, but I have to trust the belayer. Can I actually keep going? I did keep going up, but then I freeze. You're feeling all these emotions. You're feeling anxiety. Your heart is pumping. Your head is spinning. You're thinking about all these different things. Am I gonna stay alive? Am I gonna fall? Am I ready to die? So the reason why I love rock climbing is because whatever I'm dealing with, I'm facing it. My friend Josh, perfect story. I'm about to go rock climb, and I'm like, oh, man. I said, why am I doing this to myself? And Josh says, because you love yourself. And the reason why he's saying that is because every time you rock climb, there's a different person that's facing rock. You're about to rock climb. Meaning, you could be a good mood, you'd be great, but one day you could be in a bad mood. Could be a day just not right. But you still have to face the fear, right? In life doesn't really care what day you're having. The issues, the problems, they're gonna come. How are you going to face it? And so for me, regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm like, I'm just gonna do my best to get through it. And if I don't, it's okay. Because there are times in rock climbing, I'm like, bring me back down. I gotta come back down. And it's okay. And so the process of rock climbing, I like to look at it as it's just life. It's literally life, because you have to strategize. You can't just power through. You literally have to one rock, one steep at a time, one thing at a time. As a perfect example is like when this is in rock climbing, you can, I don't know what you call it. It's like a thing, a steeple, whatever, and then you put it in the rock climb, and then you do it, and then another one, and if you fall, you don't fall all the way to the bottom. You fall to where your last thing was.
Oh,
So
I
in
didn't know.
life, yes. So in life, you're gonna have falls, but you're not gonna fall all the way to the bottom. You're gonna fall to where your last thing was, and then that's your starting point. and then you do it again, and you just keep going up again and again and again.
So when you
So-
fall, it's not like all is lost and you're starting from the starting line again.
Correct.
That is really applicable to so many things that we strive for in life. Like so many of us, I think we fall off a diet or an exercise regime or a commitment to anything. And when we're just like, well, screw it. And we just blow it out of the water, where you're just saying it was just one step backwards, right?
Just one step backwards.
I would love for you to share also before we open this up for conversation, because we have a lot of great comments already in the chat. You mentioned as this journey, you mentioned a couple things that I want you to share. One is that you're not after a destination.
No.
So tell us a little bit about that. And then I have one other question I want you to share a little bit more about.
Yeah, so that was the hard thing I had to learn about myself. So I was the guy that just wanted the house, the wife, the children, the $1 million. I just wanted to check the boxes. And then as life, started to unfold, I would check those boxes, and it didn't fulfill. They always say life is a journey, not a destination. Well, I didn't believe that. Like, give me what I want, and I want it now. And as I'm going through this journey, I'm really embracing, I call it the method of GPA, which is gratitude, perspective, and attitude. Having gratitude for what I have versus what I don't, and in whatever situation, and finding the perspective of the good perspective of it, and then also having the attitude of appreciation for everything. And so that process of the journey and enjoying the experience is something that is starting to really get ingrained in me. Like right now, I'm enjoying this experience because my whole life was about looking at, like, I don't want this to go in vain. All this pain and suffering. And so me being here, like whether there's one person, 10 people, just me talking to you is good enough for me. Talking to I pronounce the name, Sorrel, I'm blessed. Like that's enough for me to just be able to talk with people that I know and meeting new people, and then everybody hit. So I'm just super grateful. And then just my goal is to continue to increase my GPA. And even if it drops a little bit, I'm still grateful to continue to climb right back up. So
I love that. I love that. Thank you. One other thing I want you to just touch on, and then I want to definitely give the others an opportunity to ask some questions. You mentioned that as you were venturing through this journey and learning more and more how to live your message really authentically, you said there's some danger in the ego. And I think that is a powerful message for all of us.
Yeah. I will touch on this. So I'm facilitating a group called WOWI, and it's Workout on Wheels, internet intervention, where it's an online physical activity for a program for individuals like myself who have spinal cord injuries, for them to work out weekly, and I facilitate that. And so when we talk about the ego, it's humbling to see different disabilities, spinal cord injuries, and being able to talk to different individuals and actually motivate and inspire as well. But I facilitate, so I don't talk as much. It's really for a group conversation. And so the ego is so dangerous, because even in this position, all your inspiration is great. But again, at the end of the day, like I said, it's for the legacy. It's not about me. It's for the people. A part of it is for me, but the majority of it is for the people. And so me working with people with spinal cord injuries and also spreading the message, it's a constant reminder for me to be humble. And the way I stay humble is doing things like working with other individuals and position myself as a servant versus someone trying to save the day. Like, no, I'm just here to serve and give what I have, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less, because it's not about me. And the part that it is about me, I receive, but the parts that isn't, I let go.
I want to say to you, Ray, and let the folks that are listening know that you and I were closer friends before COVID. And then we've reconnected. And what you were saying about this servant attitude and being a light for others first, I can feel that from you so genuinely. Like I can see how you inspired me from the day I met you. And today, talking to you, the authenticity of how you look at life is so very evident. So you are an inspiration, and I want to say thank you. Cece had a question, but now she's kind of gone away. Let's see if she still has a question. And we have lots of questions and comments in the chat. So, okay, Cece, talk to us, and I'll try to. I apologize, y'all. The more I study flow, the less I can multitask. So I'm going to read some of these messages in the chat right now. Go ahead, Cece, talk to us.
Hey there, everyone. And Ray, I just want to commend you and say excellent job. You're amazing. And thank you so much for being so generous and kind and showing so much gratitude with everything that you do, giving to others. You're amazing. I pass. Thank you.
Oh. Thank you, Cece. We have one question from Dr. Joy, and she says, what are the 5 M's again?
Myself, motivation, my memories, my mistakes, my world.
Okay, so a lot of my's, so you could make it work with the 5 M's. My world, my memories, my motivation,
My
myself,
mistakes. and
mistake,
My
memories.
mistakes. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
Okay, that's amazing. I can keep asking questions. Oh, Sorrel has a question for you.
Ray, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your life the way you do all the time and for sharing it with us here. Something amazing happens when a life event happens to a human being. And I can see the evidence of it in you. There's the drive, there's the mission that's there. Tell us a little bit about this. I'm thinking there are people like me out there who are thinking, oh my God, I wish I had something as traumatic happen to me so I can uncover a way to serve the way Ray serves. Uh, did your trauma contribute to your mission, or did your mission help your trauma?
Oh my goodness, that is a phenomenal question. I would have to say both, because what the trauma did, it almost provoked me to get help first off, and then what the mission did was humble me to say, this is not about you. This is about people. And so when you think about inspiration, right, I never set myself to, I don't think anybody with a spinal cord injury or with a disability sets themselves out to be inspiration. If anything, within the group that I think they don't like, most, they don't even like it. When they're sensitive, they don't like that. And however, I, as the bridge, I say, well, inspiration is the highest act of a human giving off the inspiration. What's inspiration? To me, inspiration is the blood, the sweat, the tears, the fight, the grit, and then being able to rise from the ashes. And then they'll be like, wow, you're an inspiration. But before you get to inspiration, you gotta get to that. You're in the midst of the valley. Like, will I survive? Am I alive? Oh my goodness. Can someone please call 911? I need help and I need it now. Am I crazy? Hold on. Is my heart still beating? So before you even get to that inspiration, you get through all this whole process, like the diamond, you get cut, you get pressed, you get so much of all this stuff. And so I think a lot of people they want it, but they don't want it because it's a responsibility to carry. It's a responsibility to live out, because you could live it, but then you actually, people are looking at you as an example.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say both. I would say both. Excuse the family from
We didn't see or hear the family. I know you got distracted by that, but you know, this is life, right?
Yeah.
And so aren't we so grateful that we can be here together and our families are feet away from us? I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that Dr. Joy had a question, but maybe she has to go because we're right up on time. So I'm going to give her a minute. And if not, we'll move on to Rashida and then close us out. Dr. Joy, did you leave us?
No, I'm still here. Thank you. Hi, Ray. You're amazing, and thank you for your great work. And the question I had was about the three M's. You mentioned them, and I think it's interesting, but how do you suggest people use them or apply them? Or are they used to promote reflection? Like, how do you use the three M's?
I think you answered your own question. So the 5 M's is for reflection and also awareness. So in order to get to a particular goal or a particular thing or place, you got to be aware of where you want to go. So if you want to go to, I don't know, South Carolina, I'll put in the GPS. I have to know where I'm going. And myself, I have to know myself in order to give myself. So in order to do interviews or to do a podcast or to write a book, my book, I have to know myself to a degree. And even writing the book helped me know myself even better. And then to know my motivation, what motivates me? Because motivation goes like that. I'm motivated, it gets like that. So really motivation to me is very quick. And so what do I really want? I want discipline. My memories, I have a lot of good memories, bad memories. Okay, why am I thinking about this all the time? And so now when I think about it, okay, oh, that's why I keep thinking about that particular memory. My mistakes, why do I keep on thinking about this failure? What? I didn't learn a lesson from that failure. So I need to go write about it, journal about this lesson, this mistake, so I can see what is the lesson that I missed. And then my world, living in a wheelchair, spinal cord injury, this world's not designed for me. Okay, I got to go need a ramp. I need this, I need that. Okay, maybe let me get around more community people with disabilities so we can help each other navigate through this world that is not for us. So those M's are for, yes, they're barriers. They're barriers to overcome, to think about, to reflect, and to eventually overcome them little by little, piece by piece. I hope that answers your question. I don't want to go too much over time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I'm just
you.
getting warmed up. You guys are
I know
warming me
it.
up.
I did put your contact information and to encourage people to follow you on LinkedIn. I put that in the chat. Rashida, if we can keep this super quick, let's give us one last thought and then I'm going to close us out.
Thank you so much, Ray. I am so inspired with your story. And the only thing I can say to you is you motivate me this morning and keep it going. And like what we would say in Spanish, as Ray, you are a king in Spanish. You go ahead, keep it going, and keep everyone motivated the way you motivate me this morning. Thank you so much for the inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashida. Ray, I wish we could make this an hour, hour and a half. I hope you'll come back and please join us anytime at 9 a.m. You would just be a beautiful addition to our family here on the Daily Huddle. But it's time to close out and say goodbye until tomorrow. And I'm going to do that with our 7 tenets. And the first of those is love. Lead with love. It absolutely will light up your world and your 2024 if you keep that at the forefront of all that you do. Remember to give of not only riches, but of your time and of your spirit. Give of yourself fully. Be vulnerable like Ray with your gifts. Let yourself laugh. Don't take yourself too seriously. Laugh out loud. Throw that head back and let those endorphins fly. And take care of your body by stressing less, getting those 7 or 8 hours of sleep, eating mostly plants, put mostly plants into your body. And remember, just like if Ray can do it, we can do it. Remember to keep moving that body. Much love to you all. Happy New Year. And we will see you again at 9 a.m. on the Daily Huddle.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you, Ray.
One love, guys. One love.